Hey everyone, welcome to Smash and Grab Comics. This is Tyler. We're here to talk about comic books tonight, and sitting with me is the pretty boy of comics, J.P. Jones.
What's up?
What's up? And across the table from me is the man, the myth, the legend, TRS.
I know, that's me.
That's you. All right, so guys, it's been a while. It's been a week. A week ago was Halloween. We were chatting about X-Men. That episode has done really well. I am also noticing there's a lot of talk on the internet about X-Men, the animated series, making a comeback of some kind.
Yep.
I'd love to see that. That'd be great. And it's cool that we're doing those older review episodes. And then by the time we get done with reviewing the whole show, we might have more new show to talk about.
Yeah.
And that would be really great.
Yeah. I'm just really like this idea of the X-Men episodes.
Yeah. They're great.
I think our fans really like them. So, anywho, let's get to what we're talking about tonight. We have two awesome comics that came out this week. Which one do you want to talk about first?
We can talk about crossover first.
Okay. Crossover new from Donnie Cates. So, okay, let me take a step back. A few minutes ago, I was talking to you guys about Marvel putting in those codes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
Since our listeners weren't privy to that, he's talking about the digital codes where you get the free digital download when you purchase a Marvel comic.
Right. You know, I was just wondering why other companies aren't doing it as awesomely as Marvel is. Because I was reading this book, Crossover, and thinking, you know, Image really needs its own app.
Yeah.
Or to jump on the bandwagon.
Maybe they just don't want to. Maybe they have the stance of comics are comics. They don't want to cater to a digital market or even open that door.
This one with the coloring would have been awesome as on a digital format.
Oh, sure.
Okay, Crossover by Donnie Cates is a book where basically comics are real.
Comics have crossed over.
Yeah.
We are the crossover event. The crossover event has happened, and every comic personality, character, hero, everything you know about comics has come into our world and started just destroying each other.
Well,
as well as our world with it.
Yeah, so take us through the story. Do you have it with? I don't have it.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, TR, take us through the story. Take us through, TR.
Paint the picture.
Well, it really starts right off the bat. It shows this huge, like all these comic book characters fighting, and you find out that they actually basically took a shield, like one of the superheroes made a shield around Colorado, basically, to contain all of these comic book characters that had suddenly come into our world, and they were fighting each other, and there were all these innocent bystanders dying.
Yeah.
And it became like this huge international crisis. Like, where the hell did they come from? Why are they killing us? What the hell's going on?
Yeah. So then we have kind of a main character that we're following around through these events, right? She looks like she's a comic book fan. She's not a real superhero. She wears a mask.
Right. She's into cosplay, and she works at one of the last comic book shops around.
Yeah. And she gets things thrown at her.
Yeah.
People yelling at her on the streets. What do you think of this, JP?
Honestly, I think the idea is really, really great. But yeah, the event that we're talking about has happened previously to this, and then we jump to a now version of what's happening. And this we center on this girl, like you said, and she's walking down the street going to her job to work, and somebody throws a bottle at her because she wears a mask, and she's like representing this comic thing that's happened, and it kind of creates this like second class citizen.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because she still likes the comics. She still likes the store. She still, she still likes all this stuff. And so when she's just going into work at the comic store, and they're attacking her because essentially she's supporting these heroes that are trapped in Colorado.
Right.
That's how it's viewed. Yeah. And one of the things they even have, there's a billboard, God hates masks.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of religious stuff that gets brought into with this. God
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
against it. These comic books are satanic. We told you so in the 50s and 60s, and you didn't listen.
It was definitely apropos for Kate's to write in God hates masks. Being, we're right in the middle of this pandemic where we've got definite sides whether you should wear a mask or not. My good friend, our good friend of the show, John Lees, he laughs. He's telling me that like he cannot believe that the U.S.
That's even a
this
thing.
is a thing.
Yep.
He's gonna send me a picture of a Scottish newspaper about the news about Biden. He says they're very excited over there.
Yeah, I mean, and a little over half of us are excited here.
Right?
I mean, that's the best way to put it.
The whole world.
I think everybody at this table is excited about it.
Yeah. The whole world, except for Russia, is super excited for us that we no longer have Trump controlling the country.
Yeah.
But half
the
of our
Taliban also endorsed
Yep.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So
But
rough day for the
Wow.
Taliban.
Wow. They took an L today.
And so I think it's just hilarious that half of our own country, like everyone else is like thank the Lord, but half of our own country is like burn it down.
Indeed. And that half of the country 4 years ago was saying, "Oh, screw your feelings." Well, they're sure having a whole lot of feelings now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any Republican friends on Facebook anymore, so I don't know.
I was surprised at how many I didn't think would lean that way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm like seeing some real proverbial masks come off and going,
Yep.
I can't believe that this happened. I was like, wow, I did not think
Wow.
that out of you. I thought I knew you better.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're all happy.
We are. Yeah, we are.
So.
This is just the beginning. We don't want to get too political on this
Yeah.
on this podcast, but hopefully it goes well. I mean, this is just the beginning of the fight to change, though. I think it's going to be a little bit more of a. It's not going to be an easy transition.
Yep.
It's going to take some time to convince people.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the comic.
Indeed.
Okay, so I was saying the mask reference because it says God hates masks. Well, here we have a problem with conservative Christians that follow Donald Trump and his influence of no masks, and I can see that correlation.
Sure. Sure. And that is kind of one of the themes in this book that is one of the more subtle ones, is how religion has really had an uptick since whatever this event has happened.
Yeah.
People,
Well,
I guess, looking. Well, one of the funniest scenes in the Simpsons movie is when that huge dome is coming down over Springfield. No one knows what's happening. They all think they're going to die. Everybody from the church runs to the bar. Everybody from the bar runs to the church.
But I mean, in terms of that, I mean, yeah, they would be, because these false gods have just dropped into our universe. You know what I mean? Like,
So how long have they been in the dome now at this, like, in current time?
They don't really say, because the dome is like it's out, like we're not in Colorado. We're just in
the United States.
The United States, and Colorado's happened. It's out there.
Colorado is under a giant dome because it's full of superheroes from the comic book world somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Right. And they have no word coming in or out. And it was one of the comic book characters that decided to do that to stop the spread of all this violence from going outside
locked
Colorado.
in, but they still exist and everybody knows it.
It's so weird.
It's really weird. It's an out there comic. It's an out of the box idea of a comic.
Right. And so we run into a character that is done like Roy Lichtenstein in his artwork, where he's got the red dots,
Like the pop art.
that pop art look, the 40s and 50s comic book 3-color printing where they would do the dot overlay, right? So and this girl is colored that way. Her hair is done in that deep blue black that they used to do for Batman. Her face is that pop art look of dots to make up her skin color.
Oh, let's see. Sorry.
And
we can show it on the camera too, so you can kind of get a visual.
Her so
There you go.
yep. So she's very obvious one of the
the light, yes.
one of the comic book people, and she talks about a guy helping her escape.
Well, and, prior to that, I mean, the guy noticed, like the owner of the shop sees a person on his security camera like trying to steal a book, and that's why he comes up to this person.
Yeah,
and it's the little girl. She's got like a hood on.
Yep.
And they realize, oh my god, it's one of you comic people.
Yep.
And then people start freaking out in the shop, and they leave the shop, and there's like a religious kind of protest going on outside about don't buy comics and things like that, and like comics are bad. And then they find out that there's one of those comic people inside, so they want to burn the place down.
This is a bit extreme. Okay, let's just stop here and break this down. Like,
Yeah.
so
literally the only person that was not freaked out by this little comic book girl was the main character.
the cosplay.
Yeah.
The cosplay girl. She's the only one who wasn't immediately like, holy fuck, kill it.
Right. So that's what I don't understand is why they feel that way, because they contained the superheroes there, but this is just one girl. They're acting like she's the plague, you know.
But they're all supposed to be contained,
But
Yep.
so they're
and
worried that
she's also different. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit of play on fighting for your right because you're different. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
It's just like, yeah. I mean, there's a definite play of like minorities in here, of like racism and xenophobia
You know,
and things like that.
anti-LGBTQ.
Totally. It's just yeah. I mean, it's deep though when you really look at it. But yeah, I mean, they run into her. They want to burn the building down. They fire up a Molotov cocktail and they throw it into the building, and boom, it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the little girl was saying, "I can draw you a picture of the guy who helped me escape, like the bubble, and get out of it." And at the end of the comic, it reveals the picture. They're like, "Is that him? Is that the guy?" And it's like it's a child drawing of Superman.
Yeah, and it's very
Spoiler alert.
rudimentary.
But that's Superman.
It's definitely Superman because
Sorry, did I get a
the
good
very
camera shot of
wide
that TR?
shoulders
Yep.
and the
Okay.
giant S.
Yes.
It's very Superman, which is awesome.
Plus, he has 2 legs, and I noticed 2 arms, which is
It's
most of the time how Superman is portrayed.
You're right. I have seen that. Yeah.
I was confused by the S on the chest, but
Yeah. Okay. So, what spurred this event? Do you guys think?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Actually, I think it's what the forward, like the forward, by Donnie Cates himself, right in the beginning, or maybe it's at the end. I can't remember if it was forward.
I think it's
afterward.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and afterward. But they talk about how Superman isn't real, but he's more real, and he'll do more things that you'll ever do in your generic life,
So
because he will live on
you're-
past that. He is real because of the things that he's done, even just in comic books, like in all the stories he has, and like the characters
that is
died
the
and then
forward
reborn.
yeah. And so, I completely recorder. God dang it! I did that. My bad. Okay.
Is it okay? Did you?
It's okay.
Still recording?
Yeah. Okay. So, no, I lost my train of thought. What was we talking about?
Superman has done all these things
Yeah.
in his
And
fake life
I could totally,
more than you will ever do in your real life.
and I can totally relate to that.
And
because-
after you're gone, he'll still be around.
yeah, I mean, because we just celebrated like huge anniversaries for like Batman.
Yeah.
Right, 80 years of the Joker, and it's like, wow.
And-
My grandpa is about to die, and he's 84. The Joker, the idea of the Joker is going to live long past the age of any of our grandparents. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
Although I actually think I'm immortal, and I have some evidence.
Video or it didn't happen.
Here's my proof. Haven't died yet.
So true, so true. But I haven't either.
Me
So-
neither.
Oh shit! For real?
For real.
For real?
For real.
I'm not saying people should definitely start worshiping us because we can't die, but
I mean,
yeah.
we could start our own comic book if they did.
the tithe is 10% off your net, not gross.
What?
Tithe.
Yeah, tithe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're supposed to give 10% off your gross income, not your net,
Yeah,
because
right.
it's
They-
more money that
They
way.
want it right off the top.
It's good to know. It's
Yep.
good to know. It's good to know.
So-
Anyway, back to this book.
That's how churches work. This is
That's how our church is going to work.
The Temple of TR.
I thought this book was really good. I mean, on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like an 8.5. Only because at this point, like, I'm just not surprised that Donnie Cates is writing something good and interesting. Like, I'm just like, oh, it's just another good idea from Donnie Cates. Like,
yeah,
you know,
I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how interesting it is.
I honestly think it'll be a big book because I think with the statements that are in here and like the things that I've heard about this book, I mean, if any of Donnie Cates's books and creations has been optioned or looked at for like TV show or movie, this is probably the best idea he has that would translate into a very watchable show or movie because people just get it. Like they would get it, I think.
Yep.
And it also has just a lot of things to say.
Maybe that's why I don't know if I like the story, because it's so easy to get. You know what I mean? It's just like, boom, superheroes just came into our world. They're causing a problem, but we're gonna put a stop to it.
I think there's gonna be a lot of secrets in this book though, and a lot of the things to decipher and things to do, because like, or things to look at, because like I'm not sure what he's trying to do with this 3 dots thing or what this really means.
Yeah.
But he's got it on the cover and he's got it on the back. There's like the back in here, and then even in the cover, it's in the title up here.
These
really,
ellipses, yeah.
right.
Okay. I don't
What
know.
what does that mean? You know, ...
is what he's saying. You know, like
right.
when you go, you know, hi ... you're like, you're kind of saying you're waiting for them to respond.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think
The
there's a lot
ellipsis means to be continued.
right.
Pretty much.
So it's just interesting. He's using it as imagery. You know what I mean? And like, what does that mean for the book? What does that mean for the idea? What does that mean just in general?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of cool mystery about.
I
this
like
book.
the way he's put it into the logo.
Yeah.
Or
it's not even
Jeff Shaw probably.
It's not even noticeable really, unless you really look for it. So.
It cuts off part of the O and R and then part of the O and S. Yeah.
For me, the big thing with this book is, there's a lot of subtext. There's a lot of, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you get rid of that stuff, is the story still good? Do I still want to read this story?
And I say no.
I found
yes.
myself saying yes.
Did you?
Yes. I say yes. I think this is the most novel and original idea he's had. Because I don't know. I mean, I love Redneck and I love his other stuff.
Yep.
Like Baby Teeth was good. Baby Teeth kind of petered out for me.
Is it still going? I haven't seen an issue of it in a long time.
It's probably been a couple months since the last one, but I'm not sure if that was the last one or not.
Redneck's still going, right?
Redneck still has like specials they've been releasing, but I don't think the main story's going on anymore. I don't know. I really found myself like closing it and going, all right. I'd really like to see some more of this. Like, want to know where this goes. Like, is that Superman? Like, that'd be really interesting. How are they going to pull that off?
No.
And like, how are they going to do this? So
you notice they didn't say Superman's name.
No, and I don't think you could.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't think that you can do that at all.
One of the reasons why I'm so curious.
How are they going to pull that off?
How are they going to pull this off? Like,
without,
is that really
without
Superman?
infringing on?
Yeah.
Here's what they do: is they'll have him standing there. Who are you? You know damn well who I am.
And they'll just draw him always from the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or they'll do like that movie that taught the Quran, where because part of Islam is you can't show pictures, certain sects of Islam, you can't show pictures of Muhammad.
Yep.
So what they did is it was everything POV from Muhammad.
Gotcha.
So they could do something like that where it would be, whoever the hero is talking. Because you're not going to say, hey, Superman, how are you today, Superman? It's a nice day, Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think they could say Man of Steel.
No, they're going to have to do it. He can't wear the S. You can't, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, you got away with a rudimentary drawing.
Yeah,
it's a rudimentary drawing.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that too, where the legality of stuff. I do like that we're going to, I just wish it wasn't so simplistic as comic book characters. I mean, we've got like a million comic book movies. It would have been cool if it was like something a little more obscure.
But obscure, then you're just falling into an obscure like niche of a comic as well. You just fall into the obscure indie book. This is a mainstream book without being a mainstream book. You know what I mean? He's taking the mainstream idea of everybody knows what superheroes are, everybody's into superheroes, and just flipping it on its head. Like, what if they just became real and just started destroying our world? What the fuck would we do? That's kind of the idea. And then it also, like, I mean, I'm looking really deep into it with like the, the racism and the xenophobia and like this like people like rebelling against it and like shunning this comic crowd is like a little bit of a statement also about people who are into comics too. You know what I mean? What the turmoils they went through
and what they'll put up with fandom.
Right. It used to not be that way. It used to be like comic books. You didn't really be proud of reading comics. You liked it yourself, but you never like told everybody at school you're reading comics.
I didn't.
I didn't when I was a
want
kid.
to.
But now, you read comics, you're the cool kid. Before though, you weren't. You were you were the second class citizen. And I think this book has a lot of tones of that and using that as a device for the story. It's just interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
I think that I'm interested to see the next issue. I'm going to keep reading it. I would give it a 7 though, because like I said, the story didn't really catch me, and if the undertones weren't there and the subtlety, and if it wasn't written as well as it's written, the story wouldn't hold up for me.
I mean, only Donnie Cates could pull off an idea this crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did love like I said, very rudimentary Superman. I thought that was super creative to have a kid show a drawing of who it was. I think that's pretty neat.
Well, it's just exciting for comic fans too.
And it's exciting for the cosplay girl. Seriously, you fucking met Superman.
Yeah.
And he let you out. He got you out somehow.
Is it him?
So it's just, I mean, you are left with this feeling of because he's gonna save the day because Superman's there. Like, he didn't really dawn on you, and then you realize Superman's helping a kid escape.
Well,
and you're like, wow, what's the story gonna be?
What's the motivation? And like, he was the hero we all needed in this comics, and is he going to be the hero that we all need in this event too? You know what I mean? Is he going to be the ultimate, hero to save everyone?
It's shaping up that way, but who knows?
Very interesting. So really cool. I'm happy with it. I'm really excited to read some more. I think it'd be a good book. I think it was one of the bigger ones this week. But honestly, the next book that we're going to talk about, I thought was
even better.
I thought is the sleeper hit of the week. Like no one really even was talking about this book. No one was really saying much about it. And I really think it is the best book this week.
So
It's numbered. Are they planning?
They're going to be 4 of them.
They always number them though, no matter if it's a one shot.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel is really great about putting a number on there because of that number 1 crowd.
Number 1.
They see number 1, they grab it,
Yep.
even if it is a one shot. Because I'm pretty sure that Wolverine and Conan thing was a one shot.
Yep.
And it was
number 1 on it, man. Number 1 sell better. They always do.
So this was interesting for me because
We should probably tell what comic it is.
In a minute.
Oh,
In a minute. First, let's talk about where we bought it at Rainbow Comics, Cards, and
Yes,
Collectibles.
indeed.
What the fuck?
3310 South Minnesota Avenue.
3310 South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But you're in Lincoln.
1501
1501 Pine Lake Road. Sweet 17. Tim
Lincoln,
Taylor.
Nebraska.
In Lincoln,
I like
Nebraska.
cheese. No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I'll wait.
We're back. Okay, so I happen to be flipping through it, and I've never peeled off the digital download code from Marvel Comics. And I'm like, I'm always trying to hide my comic book reading while I'm at work. And it's really hard.
This is a great way to do it.
And so I went out, got the appropriate app, put the code in, and I'm reading a digital comic. I'm not trying to say I'm going to get into it, but it was kind of fun for this one. So the comic is Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood.
Yeah.
Is the title of it. So it was done literally all in black and white and blood.
And blood.
Blood was the only color.
You're goddamn right it was.
So that was really cool. We got 3 kind of his stories from his past. The first one right off the bat was probably my favorite.
I think I like the second one the best.
And the first one is as Weapon X. They're testing him, and it goes off the rails.
They're field testing him.
Yep.
Rather than going out and having him rip apart pack of wolves, because that's easy.
Yep.
They have him fight a real creature this time, and I
We
guess
don't
it's
even-
it's another experiment.
Okay.
I thought it was maybe like Wendigo.
It kind of
It
looks
is
like
like a
Wendigo.
Wendigo, yeah.
Kind of looks like Wendigo, but then they have like verbiage in the end of the story where they're saying like we're retrieving both.
Yeah, collect
subjects.
that
Like,
one.
Can
to
you put
see.
a camera on me? This is the creature. Can you even see that?
Yep.
Okay. So
Sounds like it's another one of theirs though.
yeah,
Anyway.
definitely a Weapon X or what was the
project.
Yeah, different
Whatever.
project of theirs.
Right.
So they're testing Weapon X. He's in the gear that we all know from the facility that he was being held at. But he totally massacres this thing.
Yeah, I mean it's a good fight, but he ends up still just shredding this thing apart, and they realize that this is exactly what they've wanted out of the Weapon X program. That the problem is they can't get him to fully be controllable, because after he realizes that he's like ripped apart this creature and it starts talking to him, he realizes it's a human.
Yeah.
Or it was a human at some point, and then he has memories of himself, and he starts tearing at himself and ripping the gear off, and we're like, he's attacking the gear again. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, turn the magnet on. I love how they control him with a magnet. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a time when he has no identity. His brain doesn't work on a human level. It's working mostly on a animalistic,
instinct.
primal, like. So
he's a dog. You know,
yeah, pretty much.
He's a guard dog.
Pretty much, but his humanity's trying to come through.
Yeah,
and we're seeing that here, which is what I really like, because Wolverine's got such a great personality for comic books, and like to see him really at a time when that's been stripped away, he doesn't have that, and it's before the Wolverine that we know.
Yeah,
so it's, I don't know, I like these little vignettes into his past.
That, and like before you know it, it's over, and it's just like, it's so sweet and to the point, and gets the point across, and done so quickly with beautiful art that you could sit there and look at for. I mean, doing it in black, white, and blood, like black, white, and red. You know what I mean?
Yep. That first one is Adam Kubert was the artist.
Yeah, and he's an incredibly detailed artist, and he does really great work. And it's just seeing it in that visceral point.
Yeah.
Is perfect for Wolverine. I don't think I ever want to see Wolverine in color again after reading this. I'm just like, this is so good.
It was really cool.
That was just the first story.
Yeah, the second story is a Nazi story. Is that what this is?
No, Hydra.
They're Hydra. They're Hydra.
Yep.
And it's a little bit like secret agent-y. He's working with Nick Fury in some, probably pseudo-European town, and they're on a secret mission to hunt a Hydra cell. And it starts off with Wolverine getting captured and interrogated by the Hydra commander, who's saying, "Yeah, we got you, man. We've been following you the whole time, and you and Nick Fury. Tell me where he's at."
Yeah,
and then they go through like a backlog of like what happened to the point to get Wolverine in the chair.
Yeah, it was like that movie Memento.
Yeah, a little bit, but really cool,
done really well. And then
secret agent thing going on here.
And then they think they've got Wolverine right where they want him, but it turns out this was part of.
It's been part of Nick Fury's plan
for a long time.
Come on, man, you can't outsmart Nick Fury.
Yeah, this is the original Nick Fury though. The Black Nick Fury's dad.
Oh, is that how they explain that?
In the comics? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought they just switched it.
No, he had a kid with a black lady.
Oh, that makes more sense then.
And so,
but yeah, this is like old school Nick Fury.
Yeah, the white Nick Fury.
It kind of puts you in a time frame too of like this probably could have happened in like the 60s, or you never know, but yeah, because there wasn't like. There was a phone booth there. There wasn't like any cell phone technology or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like timestamps it. But I liked it. It had a 007 feel to me.
Mm-hmm.
It had a little secret agent feel to me. And it's cool to see Nick Fury doing what Nick Fury does with like no dialogue and just getting exactly what that character is.
It's so funny because two things that they decide to actually color besides blood is the phone booth red. And the door to the, where are they at here?
Oh, this is like their safe
Shield
house.
Safe house.
Their safe house.
I was gonna say embassy, same thing.
No, their safe house.
And their safe house.
I love it because it draws your eye. Like they use the red so well to move your eye around the page and get you what you need to get for the information. You know what I mean? I loved it.
You were talking about last week about the Warhammer book being kind of pushing it for Marvel's graphic. This is crazy. Right now, I'm on a panel with Wolverine where he's got red eyes, almost like his, berserkerness has
zoom
taken
in on
him
that
over.
form. You can zoom in on that. It's great.
Has taken over. Okay, right. We're just gonna. Okay, so
look at that.
Okay, so Wolverine's eyes, they just go very red, and he's just in this
the rage takes over.
Other rage, right? And as far as Marvel, with their R rating,
faces off.
He cut a head off here that's rolling away. We see his claws through one guy's face and right through his cheeks and whatnot. Very graphic.
Well, and it's just been a while.
Wolverine should be though. Wolverine always needs to be graphic.
Yes,
like there's some characters.
He has knives in his hands.
Like the whole point of Wolverine, he's the best at what he does, and what he does is melee fight.
Sliced cheese.
Yeah, I mean, and
cheese being flesh.
Kind of jumping back to the the cartoon, where Cyclops always has a problem with that. Wolverine's all fight first, we'll figure it out later, and it's You got to let Wolverine be Wolverine, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's like, how do you bring him along and make him effective when probably the number one thing he's really good at is killing stuff. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, bud, what do you want me to do? Like, talk him to death? I don't have that skill.
I think Wolverine one-shots are usually get the character the best.
Yes.
As opposed to right now the ongoing series.
It's too many gimmicks.
Is the ongoing series, is that the one that Viktor Bogdanovich, I don't know, that he's doing right now, the art for?
I don't know.
It's the one that's concurrent with the X-Men series.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wolverine series and him in the X-Men title.
He gets too involved in other people's stuff, and like, I'm sorry, but drama and like,
do you think
soap opera-ness and like
he
trying
really
to involve the character in like geopolitical problems and like, it's just it convolutes what Wolverine is too much to me. Like, that's why I like this kind of stuff.
I've always felt like, and I know this has been a trait of his since the beginning, but I've never felt like his love for Jean has fit his character.
That's give or take. I could take that or leave that, to be honest with you. I don't think it makes the character any more or less interesting. It is, to me, one of the least interesting aspects of the character.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it does really too much for him. I agree with you. But I think this character has always done the best by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of stories, they're like the best stories for Wolverine have always been centered around him doing something alone or with one or two other people, like small groups. But he doesn't work in an ensemble.
Oh yeah, he was never written originally in the Incredible Hulk to be a team person. He was written as a
solo agent, basically.
Yeah,
like a one-man hit squad
in that issue. Well, Chris Claremont took it and ran with it at that point.
Well, an exciting
for
thing,
the new X-Men.
An exciting thing with this book, next issue that comes out in December, Chris Claremont is going to be writing one of the short stories for this.
Nice.
And I'm like, that could be really cool.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited for this book and the future of this book. There's only 4 issues, but the way that it's presented, such quick stories, such quick snapshots, and such quick joy.
Yeah.
And then every artist and writer gets their turn and take.
So that one was called I Shall Be a Wolf by Joshua Cassara as the artist. We're looking at the writers. The writers are great, but I'm looking at the artwork because
the second artwork I thought was
all done
wonderful.
The artwork with the same overall like notes. Okay, you guys you 4 get to do these stories, or you 3, and they all must be black and white and red. That's all you can use, right? Go.
Yeah.
I mean, because this last page is mostly black and red, but
it plays really well. They've used it to the best degree they could.
Right. And then the last story is called Cabin Fever. This one is just weird for me. So
I don't think it was weird. I think it was just the weakest story.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
When you should have front loaded this one or made it the second story or something, but because like this is the last story is like, the last story should have probably been the middle one.
Okay. So this was a trap. Wolverine is driving up to the Canadian outback where he lives, and just to get away, he needs to clear his head. He pulls the bike over. I think he's peeing, right? And while he's peeing, I think that's what he's doing.
He could be.
He hears somebody crying, and he takes off running through the woods, through the snow, to this little cabin where he's been lured there. And that is just crazy to me.
Yeah, there's 2 dead bodies and there's a crying baby inside.
Go ahead.
Well, this was a trap that was specifically set, but it wasn't for him.
For somebody else.
The only reason that he went to the trap is because his
heard it like a mile away.
Are so much higher.
You're right. You're right.
It wasn't close. He heard this thing like
it wasn't,
a mile away.
I forgot. It wasn't for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So he interrupts. I mean, he gets to this house where the parents are slaughtered and the baby is crying away. And unbeknownst to him, these guys are in the snow laying down, covered up, and they pop up. They're surrounding the cabin already. Wolverine didn't sense them right away.
Well, I think
because of the baby crying.
Exactly. I think that took over his instinct of like, I heard a baby crying, so I couldn't focus on finding these other guys. They were really quiet outside. And I was too overwhelmed with that sound.
He went right past them, which is crazy to me. Right? They were buried in the snow.
I think that's instinctive for the character though, because as an animal, like when you hear that type of You know what I mean? Like talking about his animal instincts.
Yep.
When you hear a cry for help, like especially like an animalistic instinct, is you respond to going to it. Like
So
I can't tell you how many times I've messed with my cats, and I feel bad. I play that like crying cat sound, and they all come running looking for this crying cat.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I feel bad doing it, but I'm like, it works. Yeah. Seriously.
I love this part. He throws the baby into an old
Into the oven.
An old cast iron stove.
It'll be protected in there.
And then and he yells, "Don't shoot!" and then they open fire.
Oh, they unload on this place.
So this frame is done in a reddish orange, just to give the sense of these bullets flying in through the window. Baby's in the stove. Baby's safe. He's taken them all. By the time they walk in there, he's on the ground, but unbeknownst to them, he's healing at this point.
He's Wolverine.
And they come through the door, and he shoves his claws right through the guy's chin, straight up through the head. I love it.
the wrong person, bub.
Yep. And I love there's a frame where he's leaping literally at the viewer.
Yep. And that, I think, is where Wolverine usually looks the best for action panels, is that leaping forward with his claws extended, coming right at the reader.
What are you going to do against that? Nothing. It's
No.
just so, like, you're so dead. Like,
Right.
It's a great classic, iconic pose.
Yep. And then in the next thing, we see the guy's head come lopping out the door.
Well, yeah, I love the line, anybody who's leaving this building isn't leaving in one piece.
Yep. And
or is leaving in at least two pieces or something like that.
My favorite, though, is he's going to town on one guy. Someone's trying to sneak out the door, and he goes, and he just leaps at him, and just nobody's leaving alive.
The only problem with this one is I thought, again, with how good the first and second one are, well, in terms of drawn and storyline wise, this one was the weakest for me, art and story wise.
It was weak for me because the ending fell way short. It turns out it was a trap for the sheriff, right?
Yeah, they wrap it up pretty quick.
Yeah, and immediately the sheriff was like, God, no, not, I know what happened. It was for me.
They explain it pretty fast. I mean, in a snapshot, it's sheriff used to be corrupt. He decided to go against the mob that was paying off the local police force.
Yeah.
So the mob decided to hit his partner and his partner's family, so he would come so they could whack him too, and then it turned. Yeah, I mean, they wrap it up real fast.
But this could have been done as a Wolverine miniseries, I think, where we could see that happening, that backstory, and then leading up to Wolverine at the cabin.
They already kind of did one like that. That was this. This is almost like a paraphrasing of that long cold night or whatever.
Yeah, what's the Wolverine podcast?
It was the podcast that they
did.
adapted into a book later.
Yeah.
This is really that book just condensed into like 5 pages.
Yeah.
And that was 6 issues.
The art throughout this whole book, I was a big fan of until this one, because this got too cartoony, too juvenile looking.
It was just, I think it was just, it looks rushed. There's no attention to detail. Everything is drawn in
flat red.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and everything's just drawn with the effect of getting it on the page rather than being like detail. Because I mean, you can sit there forever and look at those first 2 stories, and you can pick out the trees, and you can pick out the leaves, and you can pick out the streets, and you can pick out the individual drops of blood, and you can pick out, his claws going through some guy's face. And this is just a lot more get it done, get it done fast.
Yeah. So then on the,
it's not bad, it's still great, but in terms of the other 2, yeah.
On the back, the last page, there's a next, and they have snapshots of issue 2.
Yes.
This Wolverine shot looks very much like how he looked in The Incredible Hulk, 181. Or
looks like his original costume. And we had kind of 3 different iterations here. We had Logan, as well as kind of like his costume kind of looks, what he looks like right now in the middle one. We had Weapon X in the beginning, and then the last one was very Ultimate X-Men with the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
That's what I was noticing on that one.
Yep. So yeah, I'm just super excited for the rest of this. I really think this is going to be one of those books that gets talked about later of like, what's just a good Wolverine story. You got to read Wolverine Black, White, and Black, White, and Blood.
The issue number 2 is going to feature Chris Claremont on one of the stories.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
With artist Salvador LaRocca.
That's going to be really cool. Like, I'm really excited to see what Chris Claremont has in mind for just a solo Wolverine story.
Yeah.
This has
I didn't like
feel...
his X-Men work though. I thought
I wasn't around when he was writing that, so
I wasn't either.
at least
but I've
into comics, into that comic.
but I've read it since. I don't think he's a good writer.
Mm.
This had a bit of a feel to me like, what was it? Spider-Man Life Story.
A little bit, yeah.
Kinda.
And I really liked that because each issue was its own little thing, but it was part of this bigger, greater story. And I thought that miniseries that they did for that was just so good. It was so well done. And this feels like it's on the same level. And I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't point out, if you look at Wolverine face on, it looks like two Batmans kissing.
It does. I just like I said, feel Wolverine works better in short stories.
That and by himself.
Kind of a Hellboy kind of thing. Hellboy comics, they loosely are in some kind of order, but each miniseries, if you will,
Is just a case.
it's just a case he's on.
Yeah, you don't have to read them chronologically.
No. And Wolverine has such a huge world now. You could literally put him in at any point in it. Like you were saying, we got Weapon X, we've got Logan, we've got later.
He's been alive for
Untitled
so
Chapter.
long.
And so you could do so many things. But I think having him in an ongoing monthly,
It gets stale.
maybe it's the writer that's doing it, but
I think it's honestly just the character, because at the end of the day, you can't give any more gimmicks to him, because it cheapens the character. He's good at murdering people. Let him go kill some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same problem with the Punisher. You know, Punisher can't hold his own series because at the end of the day, it's just him murdering people. And that's just all. That's all the more interesting the character can get. He literally just finds other creative ways to murder stuff.
We should. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a Punisher miniseries here, and then in a year later, a Punisher miniseries.
And that's how they treat him. That's what they do.
I wish that they would start
He can't hold his own.
because his last ongoing series was very boring.
Exactly.
The Punisher?
Yeah.
Ongoing.
Yeah.
Did either of you read the Soviet Punisher thing?
No, but it was written by Garth Ennis.
Was it good?
I haven't read
Garth
it.
Ennis Punisher, right? When they had the Marvel Max, that was good
Yeah,
shit.
Welcome Back, Frank. That's that's his iconic.
That was
storyline.
Good shit. I mean, Garth Ennis, talk about good writers. That's the guy who should.
They just get those characters and they understand the characters.
Yeah, and he's gritty, right? I mean, you think about his work that he did on Preacher, and now I don't know what he's writing now, but he should be writing something.
Oh, I'm sure he's always writing something.
Yeah. Your dogs smell like they.
Yeah, one of them just ripped one, but also one of them.
I'm getting
one of them
it now.
moved the camera as it was on you.
It's juicy.
It's in my mask. It's in my mask. It's in my mask. But that was both of our books this week. I mean, that honestly, if you don't read crossover this week, don't sleep on Wolverine Black, White, and Blood. I seriously couldn't tell you the amount of customers that didn't have it in their pile, and it was like, go back to the wall and get that Wolverine book, because you will not be disappointed. No, I'm like, are you sure? Yes, I'm very sure. I don't read X-Men. I read Wolverine. You know.
Yep.
And I've said it before, and I might sound like I'm like beating a dead horse, but I don't like gimmick Wolverine. Gimmickerine. You know.
So
I
give me
like
an example
Wolverine.
of gimmick Wolverine.
Wolverine with heated blades.
Yeah, that was dumb.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Why?
that was really dumb.
Why?
Where else do you go with a character that only murders people?
Right. Seriously. Heated blades. His claws already cut everything.
Yeah.
Why do they need to be hot?
No, I get
Wolverine with no healing powers. Why?
Oh, that I think is kind of interesting because
But it was stupid. It's just
make
boring.
I think the problem with Wolverine is
You take away one of his best weapons. He's useless.
That's what I'm saying. He's OP, right? He's just like
But he's supposed to be.
I know, but it makes a series boring because
made it boring because he didn't do anything because he couldn't take any risks because he could die. It was stupid. He was just I better fight these, and he's got a pistol. It was one of the worst X-Men books I ever read
because he couldn't get his claws out because they would just rip his hands.
Yeah, and he would bleed to death. You fucking assholes took the best part away. He can't do anything.
Yeah, I
better not cross this busy street. I could get hit by a car. Go fuck yourself.
The dog just jerked the camera out. Oh man, I hope it wasn't on me again.
No, it wasn't this time.
Good. Oh man,
That's the third time she's done
Jasmine.
Jasmine, you're being a ruck.
Is that you shitting in?
Probably pooped your pants too.
Jesus.
Hey, if
Christ.
dogs wear pants, you think they just wear them on the back or wear them on all
I
four?
don't know. Yeah, probably it would be an all four thing.
No, that's weird. That's weird. I think back.
Well, they don't
That's where their butt is.
They don't just walk on two.
I know, but if they had hands, the fronts would be the hands. You wouldn't put hands on the back of a dog.
I know, that's true. That's so
If a
true.
monkey wore pants, he'd wear them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a monkey walks more upright than dogs do.
I hear you.
I
But
think it could
his
go either
butt
way.
and his penis are in the same positions like your butt and penis are.
Yeah,
You wear your pants like that.
I do. But if I was down on all fours, I could see some kind of arrangement made for my upper lip that was all one piece.
That's weird. How would it go?
I don't know. It would have to be a weird shape, then up and around the rump, right? But then, who cares? Jeez.
I'm just trying to get you to stop talking about this interesting Wolverine story where he has no healing. No, he's not.
Oh,
It's not interesting at all.
okay. What I never read it actually, but I heard it was really bad.
I read one issue and I couldn't believe I bought I bought I think I bought a comic set of it, which was like 6 issues. This was before I worked at Rainbow. And I read the first one, I was like, this sucks.
Oh,
I was like, I
that's
cannot bring myself to even read the other
That
ones.
blows.
Because yeah, he was like had a pistol and he was like hiding behind this wall, and like these dudes with guns were around the corner. He's like, and he's like, I can't do it. I'll die. I'm like, oh my god.
How do we feel about during the amalgam time when they did the Dark Claw?
Well, I wasn't also reading books with the amalgam time, but the amalgam time's a weird time. There's Dark Claw is a Batman Wolverine mashup. If you've never seen it, it was when DC and Marvel could actually get along as company and like
And
decide
they
to work
created
together,
this whole publishing company called Amalgam.
which is just basically just crazy Frankenstein versions of characters put together.
Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Weird ones.
Okay, so
Iron Man,
Wolverine
Iron
was
Man, and
crossed
somebody
with
else,
who?
right?
Batman.
Iron Man and who?
They can't remember who
I know.
Iron Man was crossed with. I have almost.
It was
all of
Iron
them.
Man and somebody ridiculous though.
So TR's gonna dig that out for a
Yeah.
second. I hope the camera wasn't on you. I'm just standing up out of nowhere.
Here you go.
Okay, here we go. So you got Dark Claw. That's Batman.
You
plus,
should have boards in those. You fucking
should-
savage.
This is how I bought them from Rainbow. You fucking asshole. So there's Dark Claw. That's Batman and Wolverine. It's Doctor Strange Fate, which guess who that
Strange
is?
fate. I like that.
Bullets and Bracelets, which is a Wonder Woman and Punisher one,
Nice. I
which
like the
is
name.
really good.
What's the cover of that one look like?
Show the camera here.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, JP got
Oh
camera.
yeah, it's a very 90s like sexy bad girl.
Early
Yo.
90s, late 80s. When did this come out?
This was
Amalgam? I don't remember.
90s.
I don't remember this.
That's
at
a
all.
90s cover for sure.
Yeah, it's $1.95.
1996.
Bullets and bracelets.
Bullets and bracelets. Look at Steve Trevor.
So
There's also
is it the
Amazon.
same characters? Like, is it Diana?
yeah.
Yeah, that one is, but then they also have stuff like this one called Amazon, which is literally this character is a combination of Storm and Wonder Woman.
Sure.
They've
So
got,
they do mashups and they do partners, buddy
Right.
cop kind of thing.
and they also have group books. Like this is the Exciting X Patrol.
I'm already way out.
X
Yeah,
Patrol.
there's the JLX instead of the JLA. There's
How do I not
Generation
know what these
X.
are.
I've never seen Amalgam comics.
How
Never
many-
seen amalgams?
No.
Challengers of the Fantastic.
How long did this go on?
Right
Just
here.
A few more, just a few more books than that.
Right here.
Okay, so you almost got the whole series,
That's the
Yeah.
whole thing, man.
and it was like one comic, for each title.
Except for Dark Claw, they did part 2 of that. They did 2 runs.
Yeah.
And on the first run, they did a Dark Claw that was like the Batman the Animated Series.
Sure.
And then the second one, they did a more
There it
serious,
is.
gritty Dark
Yeah,
Claw.
Legends of the Dark Claw one.
Because that series, Legends of the Dark Knight, was gritty and dark, and
Yep.
you know it was cool. But this is so silly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and so TR, are they good?
I don't know.
He doesn't even. Thorian of the new
I like that.
Asgods.
I like that one.
No.
I
No,
like
you don't.
Thorian.
I like
Thorian.
Thorian.
No, I like Thorian.
Thorian.
Then
Thorian.
Thorian makes it sound like
Man
it's more
War.
of a
I like this
token.
one. Super Soldier Man War.
Man of War.
So why? Oh yeah, Man of War. Why did you buy these then?
I just really wanted them to, because I'd been reading kind of about them.
You know, we should have a segment where you have to explain some stupid shit in your collection. Each one of us take a turn. We bring something
All right.
dumb from our collection. You have to explain it to everyone why you have it.
I got one. I'd probably
Don't tell us. Save it for next
No,
week.
I'd probably bring 2 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'd probably bring 2 because one's
So-
one's a DVD.
Okay, first night of this new segment, TR. Why do you have this?
Okay, the honest truth is this was an interesting time in comics that we're never going to see again.
True story.
And also one of my good friends, Nick Thorpe. Shout out to you, Nick. Hi, you don't listen. That's for not listening.
Go to
this-
me. Go to me.
Now get on your knees and do that again. I want to test something.
Hey,
This is an experiment. This is a children's show. Come on. Okay.
No, so I
not
got
what
it.
said in
My
my
buddy
contract.
Nick really liked it. The ones that he talked up the most were Bullets and Bracelets and Dark Claw.
Yeah.
But I have this thing where when I start getting into something, I get into it a lot.
Sure.
super hard.
So
And-
you're gonna get them all first,
Yeah.
and then go for it.
Yep. And basically, I'm close to being complete, but I want to get the couple that I'm missing
Yeah.
and then just sit down one day and just go through all of them.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Sweet.
cool. I guess. I mean, I've never heard of it, so to me this is brand new. Like I've often had a hard time with regular mashups between like IDW doing Ninja Turtles with Batman, right? Or wasn't it IDW? It was
Yeah, it was IDW.
yeah.
Yeah, Batman Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, it's just such a I don't know, different world.
But they
and
did such a good job bringing it together because they
They
explained
were
it.
good. I think there was 4 volume 3. Okay, so those were good, but I don't know. I usually don't like them because I don't like, like we were talking about last week. I don't like Warhammer in my Marvel.
Yep,
And
I hear you.
And I don't want DC in my image with Spawn and Batman.
Well,
Whatever.
maybe that's another reason why you didn't like crossover because it's literally Marvel, DC, everything in your image.
Kind of, yeah, it is a little bit where I'm just like, I read comics for those individual stories, and now you're telling me all of them have just come into one. Yeah, it is kind of like for the way that my brain likes to work, where I compartmentalize everything.
Yeah.
This shatters that, and I'm going, shit. Like,
Yeah. So we didn't score.
The other bad thing about crossovers is if they have two. This one does not. It's by image. But if it was Batman Turtles, where do I put it in my collection? Indies or DC?
Well, this is easy because it's an indie.
Yeah, image. Yeah. But I mean, like when they do a true
Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah, I got you. But we didn't score Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood. I'm gonna give 10 out of 10. I loved it.
9.5 because of
Only
the
'cause of the
that
last
last story.
I'm gonna do 10 just because I did not expect liking this at all, and I was just thoroughly impressed by it.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'll give it a 9 out of 10 because that last story really was weak. The art on it, I just didn't care for the art at all. It was that
They
oversimplistic.
didn't use the red to their advantage.
No.
They I think they tried to hide the simplistic drawing and with the red, and they used it overly.
I'm giving it 10 just because I think that if you would have just all you needed to do is just switch that story to the front or the middle, and you guys would be giving that a 10 out of 10 too, because you would have been left like finishing the book on one of those solid stories,
Yeah.
and you would have had a different experience because the last one is a little bit of a letdown after 2 great ones.
You know what I like about this?
But if you would have been front loaded with that not so good one, you would have finished it like, oh my god.
So that one really should have
that's why
been in
I
the
can't-
middle.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's why I did a
I can't knock it for that.
9.5 and not a 9, because I like the size of it. We have gotten so many titles lately, whether it's Batman, Joker, where it's an anthology. Detective Comics just did one. It's an anthology, but it's too big, and you're like, I don't want to read this
or
horse shit.
or it's a black label and it's oversized and awkward.
Yeah. So this was the perfect size for not only its formatting size, but also its thickness, right?
Yeah.
We had 3 stories, very concise, it's just slightly larger than a normal comic book as far as page count, but I mean, it didn't take me all night to read it. Kind of thing.
And I loved it. I thought it was great. It's just a amazing, fun, one of those like comics that makes you realize again, like this is why you read comics, is it's just fun.
You could,
It's
yeah.
like, damn, this is
You
fun.
don't need a lot of backstory. You need very little Wolverine backstory.
Yeah. Comic reader's comic.
You
very
need a
page-turner.
little bit to know about what that helmet's about, why he's wearing but you wouldn't be reading this book if you weren't a Wolverine fan.
And even if you weren't, you'd get it. It's Wolverine. Kill stuff.
Yeah.
It's Black, White, and Blood, bud.
Yep. So yeah, I appreciated that you talk about gimmicky Wolverine. I thought this title was gimmicky.
I don't think so.
Black, White, and Blood.
What else do you want to
I
call
think the title is pretty gimmicky.
It's
What else do you wanna call
like
it?
literally it's very literal. The comic is in black, white, and red, so it's called Black, White, and Blood.
I love that. I think it's straight to the point. Simple.
I like that
I
they
think
I
the
like that they
idea
did it
is
for
gimmicky.
I like the idea of the black, white, and blood for coloring. I just wish they would have called it something less obvious.
I like it. It's just straight to the point, and it's simple. I mean,
It is.
there isn't anything else I would call this book.
How about cool stories from Wolverine's past?
That doesn't fit on a nameplate, but okay. I really
Wolverine: Mind Beauty.
love.
Dude, we're fucking recording here.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And it's on vibrate too, so I don't know why it did that.
It's on jiggle.
I love the title. I love the book. I think it's exactly what you. It's exactly what the book is. It's Wolverine in black, white, and blood.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too on the nose. I think it's perfect. Really. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's a 10 out of 10, 9.5, and a 9. I think that will wrap us up for this week's episode.
Indeed. Thanks
So,
for watching.
check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We got the tweets, right?
Yeah,
As long as it's still up.
still doing at Grab Comics.
Yeah. And then
We're trying to do more with the YouTube page.
this YouTube. Do you guys, hey, before we go, you want to hear what my very overly critical 15-year-old son said about our podcast videos?
Sure.
Okay. So, little no?
TR is looking
TR.
very intently because he does the videos.
He said mine, the one I did with myself, was the worst. He said that, yeah, you told me, you brought up to me that the camera needed to be clean. True. But then, he was like, here's what he said about us. He goes, I didn't talk enough about the books. And then he said in TR's videos by himself, he's talking too much. He goes, his are too informational. And he goes, mine wasn't enough.
I love it. I can't wait to do one. I can't wait to do one. He'll be like,
And then John will be like, not happening. No, JP, no. He just said that our biggest asset for our video channel is these, right? Where he goes, even though they're long and most YouTube watchers don't want long form video.
honestly though, you have fans of both. You can get both. You know what I mean? Sure, there's a lot more want for like bite-sized content and more edible-sized content, but
Yeah.
some people use YouTube as their entertainment source. They don't have Hulu and Netflix and all these other. They use their phone for everything,
Yeah.
or iPad or tablet for everything.
Yeah.
So I think there's room for both.
Yeah. Well,
I don't, and I think it's time to fight.
yeah.
Let's go.
Sean, from the look on TR's face, do you get the camera on me? Sean, from the look on TR's face, I think he's going to kill you.
Not gonna let you off that easy.
No. Ooh, he's gonna stalk you first.
That literally the words he used is TR's a little too informative. And I'm like, that's his nice way of saying this. Kind of boring.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said mine was just dumb. When I took mine. Because he said, because
Dad,
I
yours
literally-
is just dumb.
because I showed videos of what I've shots of what I bought that week, and he goes, "You're trying too hard to be like a hip young guy." Because I was the way I cut the video. He goes, "I'm trying way too hard to be like cool." And then
Cool guy,
yeah.
Dad.
so TR, the look on your face, like he ripped me to shreds. You know.
I can't wait to do one.
I'm not gonna make any more. No, I'm just kidding. No, we just gotta get better at
I
it.
can't wait to do one. To see his critique.
So, anyway,
That's it.
for Smash and Grab Comics, guys, I'm Tyler.
I am too informative.
No, that's him. That's
Oh,
TR.
sorry. I know. I was just trying to be funny. I'm sorry.
And
And actually, it's an interesting story who I am.
I was born on a cold night.
It's generally known that I was born at an early age.
We gotta go. Later.
Bye.